Welcome to the Beauty of Brain Damage. I cut this on because I had something important I wanted to get out, and I don't remember what that was. But, mm, sorry. Sorry. I mean, fuck, if you can't laugh, you're gonna cry, right? Anyway, my mind was distracted, and, there is this thing I came across, because, I've discovered Pinterest is a very quick bam, 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 fucking automatic weapon way of getting my thoughts out without using any of my own words, by using deferred credibility of everybody else that figured a little piece of the puzzle out. And so I'm bam, 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 lining pieces up so that people can put these pieces together as they read them, right? So I came across this I don't know, first glance looked like an awesome website. It's called whisper.sh. Whisper.sh. Because, oh god, and yesterday, I was doing more of this research and shit, and I came across this thing that says, the future of mass marketing is using point of view. Which, honest to God, I gotta give them it's smart, but, the way this all works is that getting ahead of the game, knowing where you're going instead of obsessing about where you've been. And, marketing, media, manipulation, all that kind of stuff, psychological warfare, domestic style. Um, it's just time we took charge, okay? And with the dot media dot whatever else, the .org, .biz, .us, .com, there's a lot of fucking dots, there's lots. That's why I have media, M3 DIA, media dot media. I mean, it's all fucking gimmicks. It's all gimmicks. Wake up, you know? I mean, it is all about point of view and perception. And I was doing research and connecting dots on these other things, and so I came across this Whisper Dutch thing because I was headed towards something else originally. Because it's about flow, it's about moving forward, it's about, hey, something blocked you, go another way, bam, bam, bam. Think pachinko, but human style, right? And so this thing I'm looking at, it's 16 women share their experience in the military, and I just fucking loved this so much that I wanted to read it out and then comment on them, right? The first one, well, I'm a female in the military, and I'm grateful and honored to be permitted to serve, but I still wake up every day wishing I was a fucking princess. I do. I mean, it's... well, no. Yeah, no, honestly, and I've never been the daddy's little girl princess. I grew up without a daddy because I was kidnapped at 5. Um, my shrink yesterday said that, wow, that explains a lot. Um, labels and judgments, labels and judgments. Kidnapped at 5 by my biological mother, who, is mentally unwell. And as such, I cannot blame her, truly, for the abuse I endured, just as I cannot blame my combat veteran ex for beating me to death. Yeah, they may have been his hands, but it was the fault of everyone that failed him. He's a good guy. My mother is a good person. Um, and she handles just well enough to to keep her darker secrets close to the chest on the inside. And, she has a couple of, really good friends. I mean, like, one would move and the other would move to be next to them, kind of best friends for like fucking 20 years or something, right? And I was out visiting a few years ago, and I went next door to kind of give them a heads up, hey, mom's not doing really well, she's kind of suicidal again and a lot, and move to stay next to each other, best friends for 20 years, and they turned to me and goes, your mom get suicidal? Yeah. Yes, she does. I'm like, hey, wake up. Welcome to reality. Smell the world, Helen Keller. It's like, what the fuck? Seriously? My mother is a good person. And I honor my mother in that she always tried her best. She tried her best. She did. When I remember Jill Sargent LaBouche, well, sometimes your best just isn't good enough. And you know what? That's fucking true. Sometimes your best just isn't good enough, but god damn you for expecting more from me than everything I can give. Because it's all I can give. It's all I got. There is not a fucking thing left in reserve for me. Because I gave all. I gave all. And then I had the fucking balls to come back and give more. A phrase comes to mind. I may not like you, but I love you. I may not like my mother. At all. That's not true. I mean, I don't like her at all most days. And then I think I like her and she reminds me why I don't. But I guess, in my own way, I do love her. Because she made me hard. Because, and I was explaining that to my therapist the other day too. You know what? I fucking grew up tactically since I was 5. My mother genuinely believes what she believes, whether it's true or not. My mother believed that our father was hurting us instead of helping us. Because she couldn't accept the fact that she was the one hurting us. Not always. She got married again. For all the wrong reasons. And boy did he hurt us too. But she was trying her best. And so, growing up on the run as a child, terrified. I mean, and when we left my stepdad, it was fucking literally, middle of the night, wake up, grab what you can carry, dark, light rain. My mother's face was all fucked up, and my baby brother Joshua was small enough for, she had to carry him, right? Which means my sister couldn't have been more than 6. No. Holy fuck. I had to have been, 2. Because there's 4.5 years between each of us. And if my brother was in a baby, I'm the middle child. My brother was in a baby blanket and my sister was older. So if my brother was in a baby blanket, add 4.5 years, that was my age. Add 4.5 years, that was my older sister's age. My older sister was holding my mother's hand. My mother was holding my baby brother, and I was holding my older sister's hand. Looking back, and I'm like, middle of the night, wake up, take what you can grab, we gotta go now. Middle of the fucking night, your mom's face was all kinds of fucked up. And I remember running to keep up, trying to hold my sister's hands with my mom, you know, and it's fucking... I remember when we got to the battered women's shelter, because it was dark and my mother had hid her face the best she could. And I remember the next day at the battered women's shelter when I actually saw her. My mother did the best she could to survive. Under some really fucking difficult circumstances that long preceded my father. And my father, I met my father when I was 28 at my AIT graduation because we already knew we were shipping out. We wouldn't even graduate. Kreitz and I had already been informed. Not only were we at the same unit, but we were already shipping out. And I remember laying in the floor of the bathroom because it was so fucking hot. The tiles were at least cold, right? And, I remember having to face the fear of what if? What if I went and I bled out on fucking foreign soil and I never took the opportunity to meet my father because I was still too full with anger? Because I was raised believing that my father was violent and abusive and the reason behind scars on my body that have no explanation from childhood, you know? I was raised... I used to go to sleep. I used to put myself to sleep, I'd say, early to mid-teens. I used to put myself to sleep, literally meditating on how I would silently break into his house, take him, and peel the skin from him alive. Because I went through so much pain, I believed he deserved it too. And I wanted to be the one that made him feel it. You know, I remember when I was a child, never walk the same way to school twice. Never keep patterns. Always break up. Be Jesse James complex. Know your exits. Know what's in the... I mean, I fucking grew up as a child like this. I remember, because we technically grew up on the run, you know, at least until I was 16 and gave deuces. I'm like, I'm not running anymore. You know, at 16, I refused to run anymore. And I've been on my own since. One of the best decisions I've ever made. But you know, it took my mother's pain to make me strong enough to do it. And for that, I honor her. Because she did the best she could. You know, and, she made me fucking strong. You know, when I met my dad at 28, you know, I mean, we'll just skip ahead a few years. Because, you know, let's be honest, it takes a few years to let go of all that shit. Anger, hatred, you know, premeditation, blah, 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 whatever, right? And as I actually got to know my father, it opened my heart for the space my lover now fills. You know, I mean, I fell in love with a man just like that. Well, not quite just like, but, you know, I mean, I'm rubbing off on him. My dad is so gentle and so caring. He starved himself down to 90-something pounds so that he could dodge the draft. And honestly, as a service member, I respect him for doing it because he would have been a danger. He would have been a danger. He is not a violent man. He would let a mosquito feed off him. You know, I was in my early 30s and he would still shake at the mention of my mother's name. You know, I mean, when I woke from my coma and he was there, he was in the same room with my mother. It was the first time since we left as a small fucking child that my mother and he had been in the same room. And he handled it like a fucking champ. Not only did he handle it like a fucking champ, he would regularly put himself in between my mother and I to get her out of my hair. He knew I was... he clearly knew everything that I had been through. I mean, my dad freaked out so fucking much. He was medically unsafe to fly for days and had to be seriously heavily medicated. I mean, I am my father's daughter, you know? I'm just also my mother's son. Apparently, even in my coma, I would pull her towards me. Because, you know, supposedly when you're dying, everybody calls for their mother. I don't know. But I remember it being explained to me that in my coma, as I clawed my way out of hell, no, I clawed my way down through hell. Because the only way out is through. And I would pull her towards me. And then she would speak. And I would kick her away. Just gonna leave that right there. I didn't play Little Princess when I was a kid. I played soldier. I played con artist. I played manipulator. I literally followed my gut. You know, I mean, I didn't know till 20-something years later that children that have particularly difficult lives are naturally predisposed to behavioral psychology and manipulation, because for them it's like, it's a fucking mother's milk. For us it's breathing. For us it's survival. Holy fuck, I'm remembering time frames. So my brother, I must have been more like, that night when we were running, because I remember being 2. I remember being 2 and my dad was still part of my life. I remember being 2, and my dad came to the farmhouse that we were living at in Fuquay-Varina, and I was wearing an blue jean skirt and rainbow striped socks as my mother was holding me on my hip, and he came for us. My father kept our bedroom the same till we were like in our 20s, hoping that we would find our way back. And then he had to sell the house. You know, I mean, they hadn't sold the house. I believe he probably would still have our bedrooms the same. A man that is so nonviolent that he would starve himself to avoid the draft. And he had tracked us down in Fuquay Arena and came back asking for his children that he was legally given custody of. And my mother had already filled us with so much ignorance and so much hate. I remember my sister, 7, 8, my sister handed my mother the shotgun. So when we ran from Joe, I had to have been more like 6 or 7, which would have made my sister more like 10. I mean, I remember her carrying Josh, but still, if he's like 2, that makes more sense if she's carrying him in the middle of the night anyway. I mean, it's not like she could have. I mean, anyway, memory's a fucking funny thing. Facts are facts, man. And apparently, I am my father's daughter. You know? Because goddamn, I have such passion and such love and such care. But every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Anyway, get back to fucking reading these things, right? I'm a female in the military. I'm grateful and honored to be permitted to serve, but I still wake up every day wishing I was a princess. Yeah. I was the woman in the military who hit the strip clubs with the guys and told them they owed me lap dances. California, yo. We went out on some special training, and we were really just looking for the group of us to go out and play hooky in Cali, right? But hey, what does the training say, right? And I remember calling up a guy from Basic who was local to where we were, and he ended up rolling up with like this bling SUV and shit, right? Cause kid, this is one of those kids that'll drop like hundreds of fucking dollars on sneakers and then have like 200 pairs of sneakers. Like, to each their own. I don't get it. Glad it makes you happy, dude. So he rocks up in this blingin' black SUV, and the guys are like, we want to go to a strip club. He's like, alright, I'll take you to my favorite one. And I'm like, dude. I mean, because I was that guy, and I love in the picture, this woman is standing there with like that no shit, the god weapon, the big ass fucking weapon, right? You know? And oh my god, I remember being in Basic, and that one asshole drill sergeant that was a drug addict and fucking arrogant and mean, he literally appointed, welcome to the army, right? And straight up out of the gate, fucking asshole appoints a Puerto Rican woman as, lead girl. Well, I don't say woman, I say female type. She actually was a girl. She couldn't have been older than a minute. Anyway, he straight up fucking tells all of us he's appointing her because Puerto Rican women, they fucking handle their shit. And I'm like, whoa, your first act is racist, sexist, and motherfucking asshole. Towards the end of the cycle, because he maybe that wasn't in the beginning, I don't remember, because I remember it was the end of the cycle that I fucking outed her for giving blowjobs in the back of the bus for when we'd go on, like, movements or whatever. Yeah, perception's reality, motherfucker. Sorry. Moving on. Being a female in the military can suck. Well, being in the military at all can suck, but being in the female in the military can actually suck a little bit extra. My male subordinates never really listened to me. Somehow gotta figure out how to grab them by the balls. And that is why I did not go Marines. I was fucking 20, undergrad, knew I already wanted, I was fucking Marine. I was going Marine, right? And they were God God works in mysterious ways. God's a beautiful thing. So there was something similar to PSYOP that I was originally headed into the Marines to consider, right? And then within a month, I meet 3 women that went through that exact same program and told me, don't do it. I met one in the grocery store. I met one in line somewhere. And I met one of them in the elevator of my building at the time, and they were in the exact same fucking program, and told me don't do it. They had been in the same program, and they told me don't do it. One of them told me a story about how a girl in her class, she was the lucky one that got jacked in the middle of the night, fucking taken out in the middle of goddamn nowhere woods. Fucking stripped naked, but at least they left her boots. I told her to get back the best fucking way she knew how. You don't do that shit to the boys. Anyway, so I decided I was not going to go Marines because I would be damned if I were gonna fucking fight men too, to boys, male types, so that they would accept the fact that I could lead. The intel colonel at United Nations Command was a Marine. Good dude, roundabout, but he was a Marine. And, was vocal about his opinion that women do not belong in the Marines. Me being me. Like, excuse me, sir, but aren't you married to a female Marine? Boy, what I would have done to have a conversation with her. His response, yes, but. Never mind, yo. Never mind. And all this shit was pre-army. When I was in photography school, I met a young girl that was, had been a med discharge from Marine officers, and she was recovering and good for her. I'm pretty sure she went back in and did it good for her. And so I have faith that the Marine culture has changed since the mid-90s. And it's about damn fucking time. Just saying. Next one. Apparently, being a female means I can't have an opinion on strategy. Wish they would have told me that in boot camp. Okay, so for most of the time at my unit, our first sergeant was Bashimi, right? Bashimi, I fucking loved him. Dude was awesome, and we had a certain understanding. Because we could relate. Don't get me wrong. I went in as an E4, I came out as an E4. When I say shit like my soldiers, my boys and shit, that's out of uniform. Most of what I have done has been out of uniform. Anyway, I remember pre-mob. Oh my god, pre-mob. Okay, first off, you're smoking and joking. We're out by the porta potties, whatever, and we're in Fob Freedom, I think, for pre-mob, and, fucking officers, woo! So there was a young Navy officer, no, yeah, I think he was Navy, there was a young Navy officer. We're all hanging out by, we're waiting to go to the Porta Johns and shit, wait, I don't remember, it was a conversation out that way, right? And, yeah, he's an officer, but he's also the age of these other kids, right? And a group of us get into a conversation, and I just casually mention a sniper check, you know, and this young Navy officer's like, "What's a sniper check?" And I'm like, "Oh, boat boys going to the ground. Shit, you need to know this, right?" And so I explained to him what a sniper check is. And I was on the PDD, or I was assigned to the PDD at the time, and a female NCO I had, don't remember her name, she was pretty okay, except the fact that she couldn't bother to get some context, but that's alright, you know, that's what junior enlisted are growing. Well, we're all growing. Junior enlisting just happened to think that they knew more or better than I did. Alright, whatever, right? So, you know, we're smoking and joking, and I'm explaining a sniper check, and she comes up and is like, you know, I end up getting smoked again, for talking to an officer that way. And the dude's like, nah, man, no offense, it's cool. I mean, I wasn't offensive. Trust me, when I'm offensive, you fucking know it. I was not being offensive. I was just comically, intelligently explaining what a sniper check was to a boat boy. You know? Fuck, he's going downrange with us. Acid and protected on a boat. He needs to know this shit, right? Boy, did I get smoked for that. Fucking Hope. Fucking Sergeant Hope. Anyway, she also loved to smoke my ass because she had overcompensation and confidence issues, but I don't. And she told me that I needed to be, I got smoked a lot. She hadn't smoked anybody in years. I need to be honored that she's smoking me. And I was fucking up on an incline, you know, and I fucking held eye contact with every push. You know what? You should be honored I'm allowing you to smoke me. Especially if you think you're a psyoper. Anyway, Gank, good luck, yo. I hope you know better than I do, and I hope she changes and grows. I'm just saying, because that's a fucking Blue Falcon. You married a Blue Falcon. Gank, I respect. His bitch, I don't know. But yo, they've apparently procreated, so, good luck. Anyway, I'm leaving that shit alone because Rumint is Rumint and it's none of my fucking business. And it was years ago. Fuck, giving military ratios, they're probably divorced by now. Oh, yeah, and I remember the scroll up. The two before, where the woman's like, strip clubs and she's holding the big fucking gun. Oh my god. My fucking drill instructor at basic, the drug addict, sexist, racist, blah, blah, whatever, right? Not only did he threaten to kill me if I ever crossed his path downrange, and he meant it. But boy, being a buck 10, I fucking knew exactly what the heavy felt like. Woo! Telling you, the Army made me strong. Anyway, scrolling back down, because I don't even fucking remember what I was trying to say. Oh, Bashimi. Bashimi used to call me, Red Bull Girl, because I was always hopping and popping. So Bashimi used to call me his Red Bull Girl, because I was always hopping and popping. And, because I left working for Red Bull as a, marketing, I don't remember, whatever the fuck I was, account marketing manager or something like that, whatever. I left working for Red Bull to join the Army. You know, I left a job of professionally throwing parties because the fucking brainwashed sycophants that just thought life was about having parties and getting drunk and fucking each other was. So that was my fuck this shit, I gotta go. Um and Bashimi also used, between he and I, he used to call me his little ranger. And that, so we were in, no. This was long before. We were somewhere on a training exercise or whatever, and again, the same female NCO for the PDD, and we were crossing a field from point A to point B, and he was a ranger, and he and I were simply having a mature conversation because most people think I'm in my 20s. Most people have a hard time believing I'm goddamn nearly 40. I just aged really fucking well. So he and I were having a conversation like equals, which, you know, unless he's giving orders. And I followed Bashimi's orders. When I had a problem with fucking orders, it's because I had a problem with the person who, and I had a, no, it's not an issue with the person. It's an issue with the order. Bashimi gave good orders, so I had no fucking problem following them. And, because he got it, you know? And, he and I were having a conversation, and he was a ranger, and he knew a thing or two about a thing or two, and dude deserved to be in PSYOP. And that's more than I can say about most PSYOPers. Dude knew what he was doing, and he deserved to be in PSYOP. I really don't think there's anything wrong with PSYOPers. I think there's everything wrong with the leadership and the way we're trained. God damn, pull your head out of your ass. And that's the whole fucking point, alright? So Bashimi and I were crossing this field, and she was coming over, it's proximity, it's just random shit, right? And he and I would have regular conversations, and I'm a passionate individual. You know, and, we were talking about, I was fucking pissed. I busted my ass through special ops twice. I shattered both my ankles. I mean, I screwed the pooch and I fucking showed what for, you know? Be like, yeah, take that, doggy. You know, I mean, I did the best I could, and to hit my unit and then increasingly have understanding and realization that I would never be fucking allowed to do what I was good at better than the boys. The fact that I would never be allowed to do what I was trained and broken to do because I had a vagina? You know, and literally it became a conversation about his penis and my vagina, and this gender doesn't belong in fucking uniform, and if I trained, I should be allowed to go, and blah, blah, blah. You know, and he's like, you're right, I completely agree. I was on the initial, you know, group that that effectively started putting women on tag teams, because guess what? You're in the Middle East now, guys. You're not allowed to touch a woman. You're not allowed to even talk to her alone. You need women. You know, and how I don't want to get his ass in any trouble, so I'm just going to stop the conversation right there. But he understood and he agreed. You know, and he knew what I was capable of. And so I was his little ranger from thereafter. You know, I was his little ranger. And, got smoked for that too, but what the fuck, right? Because the NCOIC, the PDD NCOIC, overheard me using the words penis and vagina to the first sergeant. Really? Really? Hey, push-ups make me stronger, right? Shit, right? And so whenever, whenever Buscemi had something that he needed no shit fucking handled, it came to the Eve 4. You know, within reason, on lower shit, not like within, well, I don't know, because, even the commander, I mean, because I got sent back, so my colonel and my commander that I was with, that I was used to, they went downrange with my guys. I got sent back into like new folks and shit, right? Because half on, half off, our units would cycle, and then whatever, man. Because welcome to the reserves. Just, if somebody had fucking told me in boot camp that my gender would have been so much of an issue for everybody else, that I would never be allowed to do what I fucking went through hell to do, or if anybody had even told me that military intelligence is a fallacy and psychological operations are a joke, I may have thought things through differently. Anyway, gotta love gender issues. Alright, next one. So my veteran and military buddies have no problem with ladies as a female veteran. I just can't get a second date. I'm just gonna leave that right there. As a woman in the military, you have to constantly prove your worth to your male peers, and it's never enough. And that loops me back around to what my shrink said yesterday, actually, about how all these things make sense. Labels and judgments, labels and judgments. I have fucking done my damnedest to live up to everybody's expectations. I have been an obsessive overachiever, because I just wanted to be good enough for somebody. You know, I wanted somebody to tell me they were proud of me. I wanted somebody to tell me I was enough. You know, I mean, that's why realizing that I am agender, I'm not really a guy, I'm not really a girl, you know, I just happen to, I'm fucking me, yo. And I have overcompensated. I have been a sexy ass fucking model. I have been a badass soldier. And all sorts in between. And it was never enough for anybody. Everybody always wanted me to be something more different than what I was. And the power of fuck you, I don't give a fuck anymore, you know? I'm just me. I have a vagina. I like penises. I am fully capable of strength and brutality. I'm also incredibly capable of great love and great compassion, and just every action has an equal and an opposite reaction. And if you don't, you need to seek more balance. Next. Oh God, this is FRG and the women and the wives and the women that wear their husband's rank and blah 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 blah. Yeah, okay, you guys may have an idea, but it's just an idea. Stay in your lane. I get harassed in housing because I'm a female in the military. The wives around me always think I'm sleeping with their husbands. Alright. So when I was in training, for a year, I didn't even think about sex. Didn't even cross my mind. For a significant part of that time, I didn't even have my period because my body was going through so much fucking shock with how I was having to try to... My body was in so much shock for most of that year, I didn't even have my period. A convenient thank you, but, you know, says a lot. And, I'm the only person I know that didn't get laid in training. Because I wasn't interested. It's not what it's about. You know, I mean, thought never even crossed my mind. Get a grip. Here's a young girl. Being a deployed 19-year-old female in the U.S. military is one of the hardest experiences of my life. Today I called my mom crying for the first time since I've been away from home, and I realized it's okay. It's okay to not be okay. And sweetheart, you may be 19, but the last time I left, I think I was 32. It doesn't change. You just gotta learn. It's okay to not be okay. And, yeah. Get a little bit of age. Female, almost 30, and in the military. Afraid I'm never going to find my true love and still have time to create a family. I am not a breeder. I have no interest in procreation. Never have. But I identify with the rest of that. Oh, like this one. I'm a female in the military. When I start a relationship with a guy who isn't too, I don't tell him right away, because I'm afraid it will scare him off. Me, I'm through and through. I am what I am. And, fuck you if you can't handle it. Deuces! As a gal in the military, I take dress down days as wear your cutest outfit possible days. Fuck yes. Okay, yeah, I might be Little Miss whatever, right? But I also used to be a model. I used to wear... When I was in Afghanistan, I took perfume and stuff with me. My guys down in Tennessee with MDion, when I was working that team, yes, when I was working politics, when I was 20, you know, I mean, yes, I would make sure I was drop damn fucking gorgeous and hair down and do, because men are evolutionarily predisposed to want to help effeminate. Path of least resistance, if you're not using all your assets, you are being naively ignorant. Hey, right? But never, goddamn never, did I do any of that shit downrange. I wore baggy clothes, God damn, I remember one of our translators, right? We rolled out of the wire at one point, and all we were doing was fucking ISAF. We were just crossing the green zone to go over to have fucking American chow, right? And, this fucking Arab, and she was not a linguist. She had been, oh my god, I have no idea who gave her that fucking job, who she had to fuck to get that job on contract as a fucking... Anyway, Little Miss used to be an customer service phone rep, which apparently gave her sufficient background to be, secure information intelligence, blah, 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 whatever. That I still don't get. She had to have fucked somebody. Anyway, and I say that with confidence because as we roll out of the wire to go get food, I've never quite been comfortable with the fact that she dresses the way she does. And then when she first showed up and we're at the DFAC and she's like, oh my God, everybody's staring at me. I'm like, have you looked at how you're dressed? Okay. And then I remember some, I didn't even know what the fuck a manzini was. You know, and then I was helping out, one of the Bear Grylls types. And, apparently one of this beard boys really enjoys a manzini, and I knew that Little Miss customer service phone rep had been a cosmologist in her previous life. Are we fucking increasingly understanding, like, what the fuck are you doing here? Anyway, so I put them in touch with each other because she knew how to do a manzini and he wanted a manzini. I'm like, but why the fuck would anybody want anything that makes your balls bleed? Beyond me. Hey, whatever, right? Whatever. So we cross over, and it's just literally crossing. I can't fucking remember the name of the bases, but I mean, we were on ISAF, and it was the one right across the green zone that has the American food and shit. Not far, right? But it is open territory, and it does have a bunch of local nationals, and she rocked up with her fucking chest on full display, and her fucking ass being skin tight painted, right? And guys took to perimeter because we started getting harassed immediately. And it's not the whole Muslim, no, she was fucking Arabic, and she fucking spoke the language, which is probably the one advantage it gave her. But yo, she's fucking in the rear with the gear. She didn't even speak to nobody in the language she's got. So we're being mauled as she's being sexually harassed on this thing, on this crossover. Guys are taken to the perimeter to kind of like make it a safer environment for all of us, because everybody wants to fuck the hot girl. And the only the Americans are the ones that we're trying to keep our shit safe, right? We go there, we have the food, we come back, wash, rinse, repeat, because we gotta come back, do it again. And as soon as we fucking cross into the gate back on our own side, I'm like, that is the last time you leave the wire dressed like that. Bitch didn't fucking get it, and she needed a goddamn clue. Because her pride has no right to endanger my boys. That stupid fucking bitch would rock up into the cafeteria regularly and then go like, why is everybody staring at me, really? Because these guys haven't been laid in a fucking year, and you're putting your ass on full display. Sorry, moving on. But I did take perfume with me to Afghanistan because I would put it on before I went to bed. I would wear it for me. I'm still a girl. I may still go out and face the world with Billy Badass, whatever overcompensating shit I've got on my chips I've got on both my shoulders. But I'm still a girl, and going to sleep smelling my own girliness gave me a little bit of me back, and sometimes all you need is a little. Anyway, moving on. I'm a female on active duty, and most days I'm told that I'm a piece of shit. I feel worthless sometimes. Sometimes fuck you, Soto. Fuck you for everybody that didn't help me. Fuck you for everybody that thought that I was being a little whiny girl. Fuck all of you for making me feel worthless. All I needed was help. All I needed was help, and I would have died for you. Obviously, quite literally. Because I was beaten to death by my ex, and I still stood by the uniform at his trial. Fuck you for making me feel worthless, shitheads. I'm a female, and most days I'm told that I'm a piece of shit. I feel worthless. Enough said. Being a woman in the military is awesome. Except for my lack of personal life. People think I'm either frigid or a whore, and no guy will drop his life to follow me around the world. And guess what? In uniform, you're normally I've heard dyke bitch plenty. Yeah. Because it seems impossible that a strong woman like penises. Because what the fuck is your business doing in my bedroom anyway? And guess what? The uniform is supposed to not have gender. Get your head out of your own ass. It's gotta be stuffy in there. Moving on. As a female in the military, I remember Tim and I used to go rock climbing together, and he's a lifelong martial artist, and when I was getting ready to go to Iraq as a contractor, nah man, because back when we were in AIT, there was literally, you know, some of the brag badasses that came over and split the class into male and female, and then gave each gender their own individual lecture. The guys apparently were told, hey, guess what? Women have value. The women were told, hey, guess what? Don't go to the bathroom at night alone, and never ever be out by the generators past dark because we can't hear you scream. That was a fucked up day for me. Fucked up day. Knowing I had already put on the uniform. I had already shattered both my ankles. I had already gone through all this shit. I had already faced all this shit. And oh, by the way, there is a very solid possibility you are going to be raped by your own. So much for so much for sleeping at night, right? Oh, this is a fun one. Being a female mechanic in the military is different. Interesting. Mechanics are mechanics. Why would your gender have a fucking thing to do with it? Wait, there's more. I'm better than most of my squad. Fucking true as shit, because you know what? We have to overcome that which just comes easy to the boys. We have to go through and we have to be the fucking dyke bitch to just be accepted as equal. Anyway, I'm better than most of my squad. Fucking fact. But no one listens to me because I'm a female. Wow, where's the wisdom in that, y'all? And then they have the balls to be mad when they realize I was right. Ow! Damn, yo. Really? Oh. Being a female in the military makes me feel like I'm the last donut at a cop convention. And with that, yeah. Actually, oh, I can't do this. Anyway, I heart America. And I love love.